Ladies and gentlemen, will you please direct your attention to the screens?
Saving lives and property. It's what firefighters do. But there are those times, and we all know it, and that's when the fire service has to go above and beyond. The Meritorious Action Award is intended to recognize firefighters and/or fire departments which have rendered services beyond the ordinary course of duty in an attempt to save life, regardless of the success of the action. Recipients of this award are recognized because they reflect the vigilance and professionalism of firefighters across the state.
So it was just a normal day. I was getting off work from lunch, ran down Hugh G Street, down to I-26, and I had a thought of getting in the slow lane to ride it out because there were a few people in the passing lane. That was my last thought before hitting the side of the bridge. I had a medical event that made me pass out, and it was very quick, but it had taken away my ability to control the vehicle, and I ended up crashing over the bridge.
We were here at headquarters that morning, and the call came in. We were swapping trucks. We were not prepared for that kind of call at the moment, so we had tools in several different pickup trucks, and that probably saved his life.
When we pulled up on the bridge, the call came in as a vehicle over the bridge. There was some cars pulled over on the side of the road, and it looked like a very minor MVA until we arrived and saw people physically standing over the bridge's edge, and they were pointing. At that time, you could see smoke start to roll out from up underneath the bridge, and you could physically see him in the vehicle. So time was, at that time, working against us.
So I immediately called my guys. I'm like, hey, pull the booster line. It's the quickest line we can get off the truck. Quickest way to get some water on. I'm like, I want some water on it as quickly as possible. My fireman pulls it off, starts working on the flames.
I understood that there was water being poured in the car, and I felt like that was somebody coming to me. I knew that that was out of my hands and that someone was actually there coming to save me. I could only move my left arm, basically, to get out the broken glass to show that I was alive, and that's what they saw. They thought they were coming to a dead person and recovering a body.
One of my firemen comes up and is like, hey, I see somebody moving. So I look over the bridge, and we've got an arm doing this, swinging back and forth. And I'm like, wow. I was like, y'all don't stop, just keep going, keep going. I was like, just flow water, flow water, flow water. So I'm calling the rescue guys that are coming down Riverwalk. I'm like, hey, we got somebody in the vehicle still moving. Y'all speed it up, get here as quick as you can. I need a snatch and grab.
We made access from the Riverwalk with the pickup trucks, and while they were down there working, we started setting up a system to actually rappel down and give them more people.
Captain Chris Bird, he was in charge that day, so he looked at me and asked me to go over the edge, and so I threw a harness on, went over, rappelled down. They already had their game plan flowing to cut him out, so as they started cutting him out, I started working, getting the Stokes basket, backboard, equipment to the edge of the rocks to, prepare once they got him free, we could get him out of there as quick as possible.
So we make it down to the river, and then I see the patient in the vehicle, and he makes some noise, so I know he's still viable. The car is extremely damaged. I can feel the heat from the vehicle radiating off of it. At that point, I yell to the fellow crew members, we need tools. We're gonna need the spreaders and the cutters to help extricate him out. After my engineer made the push with the spreaders, I was able to stabilize his head, and senior firefighter Ryan Esplin was able to position himself where he was able to grab his hips along with Campbell Jacobs, and we were able to move him to a backboard that we had in place.
I come to in Doctor's Hospital in Augusta after the amount of prescriptions they put me on. I was in a different state when I woke up after that, and I was in a very, very, very good facility, and they took months and months and months to put me back together. So it took a long time after healing that I wanted to congratulate and show my respect for the people that saved me. I got to talk to everybody. Everybody individually told me what their position and situation was in the actual rescue. It was tough to hear a lot of what they were telling me, even though knowing what I went through. A lot of the experience you feel, the pain, is seeing it in other people's eyes, what you go through, and the experience that you've pushed on them, even though they saved you.
So I guess there's a whole funnel of emotions. It's an emotion of, at the end of the day, you carry some pride with it. We did a heck of a job. I couldn't ask for a better crew to have completed the task. Within the time of the call received to the time that he was transported was under 20 minutes. So you have the emotion of, man, this went well. And then to physically see somebody who, if we wouldn't have been in the position that we were, his outcome could have been much different. He could have been overtaken by fire. He could have had complications from the burns, but to see him alive and well, and he's living life to the fullest as he can today, man, I believe that God had a plan for him that day. I believe that us being split in the vehicles that we were in was not by coincidence. We did what we do best, and we put the pieces together even though they were not in order, and we made it happen.
First of all, I want to thank the Firefighter Association for recognizing our guys, because I think that they much deserving for this award. It makes me proud to know that they're from this department and they're getting this award. All these folks just gel together. It's so awesome to see them getting this award together. And I'm so proud of them because I've watched them train, but not only train, but I've watched them work.
The way that they saved me took all of their resources, and the time frame that they got to me and the ability to put out the fire is what saved my life in the time frame. Seconds mattered in that point, and seconds saved my life.
Please welcome to the stage members of Columbia Fire Department.
About 5 o'clock in the morning, we got the call for a structure fire with confirmed entrapment. We came down from the stairs, got in our fire engine, and took off down the road.
That morning, I just finished up working out with some guys, and we met at the coffee shop after, so I was walking through the doorway and looked down on my phone. 1070S, structure fire with entrapment. Turned right around and hopped in my truck, my personal truck, and got there as fast as I could.
When I arrived on scene, Cereomony was towards the back of the house. I could hear them yelling. I immediately tried to find where the fire hydrant was because I knew that there were several trucks on the way. Once the first due truck arrived on scene, I let them know where the fire hydrant was. One of the guys in the front seat was able to jump out with an air pack. Knack returned to the truck, got his air pack, and those two proceeded to the back of the house to work on extrication.
We arrived to have heavy fire on the Alpha side and the Bravo side. The only window that wasn't impacted by fire was on the AD side of the house. We had fire 10, 15 foot in the air. There's probably 4 windows, 2 of them had fire and 2 of them did not. The 2 that did not had a sheriff's deputy and a civilian who I believe was the son of the victim, and they said, hey, she's in here.
I had my mask on, so I went in. It was zero vis, except for I could see the top part of the bedroom door was burning through, and everything else was smoke banked down. I was performing a VES, which I'm very versed in. When I dumped in the window, I ended up crawling over her to go isolate the room and didn't actually feel her. And when I turned around from isolating the door, Sean said, she's right here. And he was leaning in the window. He said, she's right here under the window. So I went straight back.
At this point, unknown to Knack, he had a lot of fire behind him. It was kind of rolling out over our heads. I kind of reached down into the room to grab her arm. She grabbed her torso. He pops up. I pull back. Out she goes, face first out the window to the backyard. I went right into chest compressions, doing CPR. With the stuff that I had on hand. Finally, we got the stretcher there, got the patient loaded, and into the ambulance they went.
Training is everything that you have. You fall back to the highest level of training that you have. When you see those words come across your phone or you hear it come across dispatch, if you're a red-blooded human, your heart rate is gonna jump into your ears and you're just gonna get solely focused on what you need to get done. And my brain was pretty scattered, but my body was able to fall back on the training that I had been working on.
We go to a lot of the same trainings together across the state. When we get a fire in Greenwood County, we do hurt for volunteers. And when you get a couple good ones like him show up, you know your work's gonna get done. And no, he's not gonna quit on you.
Sean is a real upstanding guy. When you get with these guys with the county, when they get on scene, you can take a nice, relaxing breath and say, all right, I've got very experienced people on scene. And that is Sean. I've known Knack for quite some time. He is a fantastic fireman. There's a really good trust and a bond that we have together.
I think it was a total of, from the time that we arrived to the time that the victim was removed, 4 minutes, which is really, really good. We executed that night, and it was a combination of Walt running the scene and Knack and I, and a testament to the training that we've received over the years from fantastic instructors in the state to execute that operation the way that we did.
Please welcome to the stage Greenwood County Fire Service, Knack Amir and Sean Warney.
So about 7 months ago, September 17th, like any other Wednesday night, we're at Grossley Park. I'm coaching my son Decker's 8 and under flag football team. And the second drive, this is probably 5 minutes into the game, I start experiencing some symptoms that I've never placed before. Started to get nauseous, a little dizzy, and then my hearing started to go faint. My vision started to blacken. So I casually make my way over to the sideline, tell my assistant coach, hey man, I'm not feeling good. You're gonna have to call it for the rest of the game. And then I turned around and that's when I dropped.
So I was off. We're right back here on these fields. I was coaching my son's flag football team. On the field next to me, one of the parents on the team said, hey, that guy just went down over there. Do you want to help him? So when I got to him, he had poor respirations and very thready pulse, which in my experience has led to cardiac arrest before. An off-duty police officer that I'm friends with was there. I told him he was likely going to go into cardiac arrest and to prepare to start CPR. And maybe 10 seconds after I said that, he went into cardiac arrest. We started CPR on the football field.
We had just gotten back from an accident when the tones went off. We got the call for the address next door, which is Village Park, when a civilian come up and was knocking on the back door glass, and my tailboard fireman told me that he believes it was in the park. At that point, we transitioned, and I grabbed my radio and tablet and took off on foot down to the football field.
Another firefighter and me, we jumped on the gator, sped down there, and thankfully Caleb Carter was there, already working it. Connor Shaw was down. There was a lot of people around. We assessed his vitals, and once we determined that he wasn't breathing, didn't have a pulse, we started CPR. Once CPR started, there was another truck en route. They called another truck in. We probably went through 5 rounds of compressions. Midway through that, the second truck showed up, and everybody was just doing their job. And then eventually, I was doing compressions on him, and he had an eye gel in his mouth to assist breathing with the ventilating. And he started coughing up blood. And once he started coughing up blood, he started breathing again.
From that moment, I remember fragments, bits and pieces of it, and the only reason I remember fragments of it is because of really good CPR. I was in and out of consciousness. I remember seeing blades of grass to my right. I remember the sound of the gator that was coming to get me. I can even remember feeling the hands of my wife while she was holding my head while Caleb was doing CPR.
He was starting to come to, not knowing what was going on, almost in a fog, in a daze. He briefly remembers some of the things that was going on. He remembers me being the one that had to shock him, and not saying don't do it, but having to do it to keep his heart back into the rhythm what we needed to get it into. Pulling out the airway that we had in there, the advanced airway, having him pull it out and starting to talk is one of those, holy cow moments. It's a breath of fresh air for us. It's a relief.
It's like a miracle. It doesn't happen often. I don't know if the stats are known, but typically CPR cardiac arrest saves are under 10%. But I know that one in particular, with him being there, his kids there, his wife there, the crowd there. I was praying when I was doing compressions. So I just wanted to see him come back. And when he came back, it's like a miracle.
Jesus' hands were all over it. A lot of things had to go right for me to be having this conversation with you. Number one, where I had to be. This field is the only field that was close to an AD. And even more important than that, who was there? Caleb Carter was coaching his son on the field right next to me, and Zach Moore, who was an off-duty police officer as well. After leaving the hospital, getting home, being greeted by my kids and family, I'll never forget those emotions. And gratitude certainly takes the cake on that. At that point, heard a lot of stories from people who have survived sudden cardiac arrest, a lot of stories of folks who had stories of their loved ones who did not. And so those emotions led to the birth of Heart Huddle.
Maybe after a couple weeks after he got out of the hospital, he came by the station to see everybody and thank us, which is great because we don't get that a lot. So it's nice to see the end result of the work you put in sometimes. He had the idea to come up with the Heart Huddle Foundation. It's a nonprofit that works to provide AEDs to key areas, critical places that could use an AED, with the goal being that any place that has large gatherings of people, an AED should be available within 5 minutes. And since then, we've been able to put 5 AEDs in all of Simpsonville's parks and Rex fields.
Caleb Carter, he's one of the best firefighters we have. He's our training officer, and he's in that role for a reason.
He's deserving of the award. For him to be there, right there when it happened, to be able to witness that and take steps immediately, that was critical.
Caleb, in my family's eyes, is an angel, truly. What I have really enjoyed is the person who saved my life is just a good human. He's a family man just like myself. I've really gotten to know him and enjoy that relationship and friendship, and I'm thankful for him.
Please welcome to the stage Simpsonville Fire Department, Caleb Carter.
Valor is defined as great courage in the face of danger. Jeffrey Vaden Chavis gave his life to the citizens of Lexington County in 2001 with valor, and this award is in his honor. This award is one of the highest awards to be presented to an individual for his or her actions. It is awarded only in exceptional cases which involve a hazardous performance of duties that risk the life of the firefighter. The act performed or the service rendered shall be above and beyond the call of duty of an extraordinary nature and which exposes the life of a firefighter to extreme danger or results in the loss of life.
So I was at the station. We got the call, came out as a structure fire.
When the call came out, I could tell that it was going to be a big one. So I started heading across at that point. Matt, who lives in Cross, was very close to the call.
Matt arrived on scene first with no one else there.
No reports of entrapment, nothing. I walked up, started doing a 360 to get a scene size up.
It was, I would say, a good 50 to 60% involvement, heavy fire load throughout the whole trailer. Chief Gaskins presented himself at the front door, hollered out, fire department, anybody inside. And that's when he heard somebody screaming and hollering inside the structure. And he looked at me and said, "Somebody's inside, I'm going in."
So I went inside the front door. I made a left-hand search where I heard for the faint screams for help. I located the guy laying about, I'd say, 3/4 of the way down the hallway. I grabbed him by his leg and I just drug him out. Got him out the front door, down the porch.
Myself and Chief Gaskins got the civilian away from the residence, and EMS then took over patient care and got him loaded in the back of the ambulance. At that time, they relayed to me, which I was in command, and said, he's got 50% burns on his whole body. We need to fly him out. At that time, I notified dispatch and had them lift the helicopter.
After that was taken care of, they called for a helicopter to fly him out. I went straight back to work, got a hose line, we started putting fire out.
I believe Matt deserves this award because, he's very dedicated to his community. He helps anybody that he can. If an emergency happens, he'd be the one that I'd want there.
Most of us up in that rural area have been doing it for a long time, and we have no hesitation when it comes to a civilian or anybody inside of a residence. We don't think twice. It's our job. That's what we're there for. And he doesn't think twice at all. He's a great all-around guy, and he's a great fire chief.
Matt literally put his life at risk for someone else's life. There's no greater task that a firefighter can do. That is the ultimate task, and he carried it out.
I was raised in a time where leaders taught you that you weren't number one, that the community and the citizens were number one, and I've always stood by that.
Please welcome to the stage Central Berkeley Fire and EMS, Matthew Gaskins. Award presented by the Jeffrey Chavis family.
So I was at my house. It happened to be right down the road from where the call came in. Immediately grabbed my radio and also my law enforcement radio. And when I was heading down the street, could hear the sheriff's office on scene screaming that there was people entrapped and they're trying to get to them. I made the decision to head to the scene instead of to the firehouse. I was the first firefighter on scene. Got dressed out. By then, the first fire truck showed up.
Our primary role was fire tech because at the time when we got there, the main concern was getting the kids out and clearing the house. So once we arrived on scene, our assignment was fire tech.
At that point in time, it was sheriff's office and highway patrol lifted me up, threw me into a window on the first floor on the Alpha Bravo corner. At that point, realized how hot it was in there, and I felt it burning my neck and ears. I bailed out through the window because it was just too hot. By the time I bailed out, the sheriff's office had a hose line in play, spraying water in that room to cool it down. I immediately went back in through a different window on the AB corner, found the first child right there at the window, passed that child out, found the second child in the middle of the room by that window, passed that child out, continued searching until I found the third child behind the bed. Once the kids got out, I immediately started taking all my gear off. I just thought I was exhausted, overworked myself. Come to find out, it was smoke inhalation. My O2 stats were dropping. I ended up going to the hospital, getting treated for smoke inhalation and the burns to my ear and neck.
I took him to the hospital and they run all kind of tests on him and give him a breathing treatment and made sure everything was good and then sent him home.
Not surprised that it was him that did that. You know, I did not, at the time of the call, I did not know all the circumstances, and Chief Scott filled me in on that Evan had went inside. Evan's a great firefighter, very aggressive firefighter, and he's gonna be one of the ones that's inside working when we have a call.
He deserves the reward because he went over and beyond his duties to do it. I mean, he did what he's trained for. I mean, when we get there and something like that goes on, your adrenaline kicks in, and you do things you don't think you're going to do. And Evan went in there, did what he was supposed to do, and come on out.
Looking back at it now, very thankful for my training. It's what helped me get through it, realizing that I did what I was trained to do. I believe I did what anyone who wears fire gear would do, nothing out of the ordinary.
Please welcome to the stage GVW Volunteer Fire Department, Evan Lloyd, award presented by the Jeffrey Chavis family.
James B. Murphy served as the association's attorney for nearly 20 years, dating back to the 30s and beyond. He was a wise counsel during those years of significant growth for this Firefighters Association. Mr. Murphy inspired and proposed that an award be given each year, recognizing a firefighter for outstanding achievement, and even contributed money for the first award. To properly recognize Mr. Murphy for his dedication and hard work, the association decided to name the award in his honor. The Murphy Award is given annually to the one individual who best exemplifies the character of a firefighter and who has an outstanding record of fire service achievements.
Ben took a liking to the fire service when he was just a little boy, and that's been his love. He's 45 now, I think, and that's been his love his whole life. Around 14 years old, he started riding his bicycle to the fire station, which wasn't far from my house.
It was funny with Ben because the fireman really took to him when he was around the fire station as a young kid. I remember he had a bicycle, and he used to try to chase the fire trucks on the bicycle, and they used to call him F1.5. So, and he had bunker gear made up, and they had the helmet made up, and had the little sticker on the side for 1.5. And the way the firemen took to him, they all took it very well and really did a good job of helping to keep him involved in the fire service.
I got a phone call from his dad tell me to please don't hire Ben Waring until he graduated from high school. About 2 weeks after that, here come Ben to the office, to the fire chief's office, and he has the application in his hand, and he got to talking about a job, and I said, but I got a phone call from your dad, and your dad said, don't hire Ben until he graduates from high school. I said, so you can go, and when you graduate from high school, you can come on back down here. Well, the day he graduated from Somerville High School, once he walked across that stage, he came straight to my office. I stayed true to my word. I hired Ben. You can't pick a person who knows more about the fire service and who's dedicated to the fire service today as Ben Ware. He's dedicated. I mean, he was a go-getter firefighter.
Ben came on with us in 2013 as one of our battalion chiefs. Ben was unique in that he was a fireman's chief. He was able to, when I get on scene sometimes I couldn't find him because he was in the house fire with the guys. But his knowledge of the fire service, his ability to talk to people really did a lot of things for our department as we were growing, and he helped manage that as we were moving forward. On the active fire with him, very much able to point out things that were going to happen, was able to read things as we progressed through a scene. So very much had a ton of confidence in his abilities to do everything on scene that needed to be done. Ben's institutional knowledge of the fire service and his passion for the fire service is something that's a combination that makes this award very deserving for him. He understands all facets of it as far as the volunteer side, as far as the career side, and the public side. This is just an attribute to what he does and how he handles things, and very well deserved.
I can't think of a person that's more into the fire service from his days early on and dedicated to the fire service. From his start in Charleston, he was volunteering up here at Pine Ridge in Berkeley County, volunteering at Somerville. He just lived it. That's what he loves. His passion for the fire service is strong. I admire him with that. His heart was so much there, even more so than mine. Very deserving award for him.
Please welcome to the stage your Firefighter of the Year, Ben Waring, Berkeley County Government. Ladies and gentlemen, please give one more round of applause for all your South Carolina State Firefighters Association 2026 award recipients. I don't really know if I need this box or not, but I guess I'll stand up. We were talking I talked with a lot of the award recipients, and they were talking about, we were just doing our job, and it's just part of what we do. But it's always more than that. After the dust settles, it's what comes out of those calls. It's what comes out of that save or whatever you may have. So don't ever take and diminish anything you do when it comes to saving a life. It's very important, because that life, you never know what's going to do or what it's going to do in the future. So great job for all of you. We're very proud of each and every one of you. it's my opportunity to be up here and help with the transfer of command, and it's a process that's very special to us. At this point, I'm going to call to the stage President Womack, who will come up and give his last opportunity to speak as the president to this body.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for being here. It has been a tremendous year. It's been a tremendous few days being here in Myrtle Beach at the conference. As I look back, all of you or all the past presidents warned me it would go by really quick. I was like, there's no way. It has. It seems like we were just here a few months ago, and I was taking over, and it's just been wonderful, but it has went by super fast. Over the last several days, we've had the opportunity to train together, learn from one another, and reconnect with old friends. Tonight, we gather for one of the most meaningful traditions of our association, recognizing our award winners, which we just finished. Excellent, excellent work by all these folks. Thank you, and congratulations to you all. The other part of it is transfer of command. There's a bittersweet moment here that I've enjoyed everything I've gotten the opportunity to do, a once-in-a-lifetime walk, friendships that I've earned out of this. There's been some things I've missed along the way, but I've tried to take advantage of everything. June of last year, when I stood on this stage, I thought I understood how much work this role involved. Then July came around. I knew there would be lots of meetings. I guess I just didn't realize some of them would require all of the meetings before the meetings. You leave the upstate at 6 a.m. for a 10 a.m. meeting in Columbia, and you wonder, well, why do you have to be there 2 hours before? Some of that was the meeting before the meeting, but the other part of that was the family time. Everybody got there early. We got to talk. We got to understand what was going on in each other's lives before that 10 o'clock meeting started. And I think that's one of the most special things that I enjoyed, was getting to know everyone. Executive committee is quite a large group at times when you get everybody in the room, and lots of great conversations there. I can honestly say it has been another busy year for this association, and I'm sure every president says that, but we've had a very, in my opinion, transformational year with the things that we've done with selling the building, plans as we're moving forward with the new building. That was all done from folks sitting in this room. Not me by myself. Every accomplishment we have belongs to all of us, even the membership. Folks that drove us to make the decisions we made, those are all reasons that we're all here tonight. Staff members, those folks have worked tirelessly. We've pushed them hard in order to meet these goals. We've put expectations out there. When you look at executive committee, we're volunteers, right? And we all know how that goes. We've got a real job and family on the other side, but staff are always good to step up to what we challenge them with. Those short deadlines, those odd things that we don't tell them all the pieces of, and then they uncover other things along the way. They find a way to make it happen. The other folks, looking at the time that we've been here the last few days, instructors, mentors, leaders throughout the fire service, those folks have poured into this last year too, not just the last few days, but everything that they've done. Everything that we've accomplished this year will benefit our membership, not only today, but for many years to come. Before I talk about all of those accomplishments for the year, there are a few folks that I want to thank. First, I want to thank the staff. The association staff is dedicated, they're professional, and they're committed to serving this membership every single day. Most people never fully see the amount of work it takes to operate this organization. Conferences, trainings, legislative efforts, communications to the membership, benefits, finances, planning. I could keep going on and on. Daily operations just don't end. And I tell a lot of people, staff is kind of a one-stop shop, right? We have one employee doing this and one employee doing that. There's no really two employees that do the same thing. So They're kind of a one-man show on every topic that we have. Moving to our executive committee members, thank you for your leadership and sacrifice. Again, I mentioned it earlier, those volunteer positions, they require a huge level of commitment. There were many nights spent on conference calls, text message groups, weekends away from home, long meetings, difficult decisions. We all know how this year, or my year, kind of started off with some of the conversations we were having under President Arant, and as we moved into this, trying to work out our new steps with the new building. Those were all done during some tough times, but you could tell that the passion was there. Folks cared a whole lot. I would like for staff and all the executive committee to stand for just a moment, just to see the impact that you all have. You may be seated. This is the group that I'm talking about, the collaboration between the staff and the executive committee. If that was hindered in any way, we wouldn't be able to accomplish what we accomplished. There's a lot of seamless integration there, and they do so much good work. I personally want to thank the Easley Fire Department and the Greenville County Emergency Management Team. They've both been really good to kind of work in my absence throughout the last year while I was trying to balance some responsibilities and make things happen. I couldn't have done what I've done without the staff at both of those departments in supporting me. I guess last but not least is my family and friends. There's been a lot of patience, a lot of support. I've missed a lot of things. I've had to sacrifice some stuff over the last year. And between family and friends, they've helped. They've filled that gap. I can't be more grateful in the time that they've rode along with me, supported me, helped me, whatever it took to get to this point right now. All of these groups, especially my family, have done so much. Speaking of family, this association has been a part of my life since I was, I guess you could say, born. My father served as president of this association many years ago, and I say many years ago because it has been a little while. Growing up in the fire service, it's taught me early what this organization stands for. I watched him and many other past presidents over that time work tirelessly. I've heard about meetings that didn't end until a decision was made, and sometimes that was well past dinner. I go back to family. It is family. It is mentorship. It is leadership. Looking all the way back years and years ago, listening to stories, being in the past president's lunch today, just things that they talk about. You don't see that much. My dad and I are one of two father-son duos. Other than Carter Jones and Jonathan Jones, we're the only two father-sons that have been the president of the association. It's a huge accomplishment. It means a lot to me. There was a lot riding on over the last year. I know people were watching me a little bit more than probably some of the others in the past because there was some expectation there. Being able to serve as the president has been one of the huge honors of my career so far. As we start talking about accomplishments, we've done a lot as a group over the last year. So I want to be clear, everything that I'm talking about was not me. It was the folks that were standing. It was the committees that they represent. Lots of hard work went over the last year. And I'll begin with our, what I think is one of our biggest ones is the new headquarters and Heritage Center that is located at 151 West Park Boulevard. It's the old FBI building just around the corner from our old office. At the end of August of last year, we officially closed on this space, over 50,000 square feet. It's not just a building, right? There's lots of potential in this building over the next couple of years that we've invested in, that we choose to move forward to serve future generations of the fire service. This facility will provide opportunities for expanded training, improved operations, preservation of our history, leadership development, and long-term growth of the association. Lots of work still ahead, as I mentioned, but as we move forward, we've created extra groups that will support these efforts for fundraising, communication, remodeling, and any other financial strategies that we need to have. Legislative accomplishments. Chief Norkett, I don't know if he knew exactly what he was stepping into either in that role. Legislatively, there's been a lot go on this year. My nerdy side, probably one of the most valuable ones is the Palmetto 800 initiative. That was kind of how I took a major role in executive committee several years ago. We finally, hopefully, fingers crossed, we've accomplished some extra funding to get around a 50% state match of those monthly subscription fees, and also around $14 million over the next 7 years to build out the infrastructure of that system. So that'll benefit not only the fire service, but law enforcement and EMS as well. Chief Norkett and his group have worked to increase our legislative presence on the state and federal levels. We do a weekly legislative report that's put on the website. So if you don't know that's there, go to the website. Every Monday that's updated. Lots and lots of information there for you to digest and use as you need to. We also we're at the Congressional Fire Services Institute. Very well represented at that early this year, and then our liaisons with the National Volunteer Fire Council ensure that our voice is heard there as well. Keith and Jack do a fantastic job trying to keep us in the know and then also represent our state as much as they can. We've also made tremendous progress in firefighter health, wellness, and safety. Cancer funding has been increased by over $1 million in recurring appropriations, bringing that to over $4 million, just under $5 million. SC Fast, as we move forward, that program continues to grow. Miss Patty, hopefully we'll have the opportunity to grow her team a little bit more in the future, adding some additional staffing. End of last year, we were able to host the Post-Critical Incident Stress Seminar that was held just not too far from here in North Myrtle Beach. That was in partnership with SC LEAP. To our knowledge, that's been the first course that's ever been done for PCIS that focused on the fire service, EMS, and 911. We hope that we can continue to build that with the additional funding and continue to host those and support the folks that serve the communities. Leadership development and training. We continue to really invest in that. This year marked the completion of the 7th Fire Officer Academy class, bringing the total number of graduates to 160. That's been done just since 2022. Lots of great work in that program. The Leadership Institute with Chief Bolano, that program has really been reformed over the last couple of years, bringing some additional value into that. A lot of our initiatives have come out of the Leadership Institute. So talking about SC Fast a few moments ago, that was a project that came out of that group. And then another one of my big initiatives this year is the creation of the Training Officer Program. That's well on its way. Objectives and things like that are kind of coming to the finish line so that curriculum can get started. But that was a program that came out of Leadership Institute as well. The accidental death and dismemberment increase, that's been looked at several times throughout the year, and we voted at our last meeting to increase the what's called the 24-hour coverage. That's went from $3,400 to now $5,000, and then the line of duty death went from $6,800 to $10,000. So lots of great increases in that. That was at no additional cost to your benefits, so that's still that $41. We were able to make all that happen without having to increase those. Technology and communications, a lot of you, that's kind of the forefront of our way that we talk to all the membership. So we've went in and updated a lot of things on the website, fixed some things on the email communication. So hopefully we can get our word out a lot better to the membership. A lot of marketing and communications also has been improved over the last year with Brooke and her team. I'm sure you see our social media presence on all those platforms. We try to be as active as we can and interactive to make that known to the members about what we offer. Continued programs and traditions that remain the backbone of this association. These are just things that we do every year that benefit memorial services, quarterly trainings, fire rescue conference here today, all type of our regional meetings, partnerships, everything that we do, we continue to do because we know there's value. When you look at everything that we've done this year, it shows that this association is moving forward. We're stronger financially, organizationally, legislatively, operationally, and again, that's because of all of you in this room. As my term as president comes to a close tonight, I want each of you to know how proud I am of what we've accomplished together. The hard work and sacrifice will continue benefiting this association and our membership long after tonight. And while one chapter closes, another begins. Jason Dennis, my friend, congratulations. I know tonight's a big night for you and your family. I'm excited to take the projects that I've had the opportunity to do this year and continue those and let you build upon those as we go forward. But I know there's one thing that you're probably not looking forward to. It's one of those things that I didn't know was even a thing until a couple of months back we went on a trip. Now, y'all know we travel a good bit, and we get to know each other, so being with Jason as much as I had, I thought I already knew some things about him, but clearly I didn't. So we went to Gettysburg. I'm sure a lot of you have been up to the National Fire Academy. Jason is he's a part-time host at Gettysburg. And I think if you'll look at the screens here to my left and right, he's known as Battlefield Benny up at Gettysburg when he gives his tours. Jason, I know you're going to miss getting to go work your part-time job up there in Gettysburg, but I have no doubt you'll do a fantastic job here as president. Thank you for your friendship. Thank you for your leadership and your willingness to serve. Thank you all again for all of your trust in me. It has been a long road, and I know it's not over, but the encouragement that I've had from each one of you, the handshakes, the smiles, the hugs, everything has made this year go by fast and easy. Serving as president of the South Carolina State Firefighters Association, again, has been one of the biggest honors of my entire career. My calendar probably does not like that. It needs a few years to recover, but I can tell you it has been a very rich and valuable opportunity. May God bless each one of you, your families, and the South Carolina Fire Service. Thank you.
This time I'm going to call Jason, if you come up to the podium. Pierce, you got to come back up too for me. As they're coming up, I thought he was going to hold his hand and walk him up. As they're coming up, what we're fixing to go into is the symbolic reason that we pass the gavel and we pass the helmet. You know, with the passing of the gavel, we're acknowledging that the transition and presidential authority is happening for our association. We also recognize that when we pass the helmet, that it shows that leadership of the association has now been completely transferred from one president to the next. So at this time, we'll go through the process of transfer of the gavel and the helmet.
Jason, I present to you your gavel, and I trust that you will use this in every way possible to make sure that our meetings are productive and professional. There is one small print clause on here that it does not deter deer. So please make sure you file your proper needs for that. Thank you.
President, We, the grateful members of the South Carolina Firefighters Association, wish to offer you this, your gavel and plaque, as a token of our thanks for the many times you used it well in running our organization. We thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. In offering you this helmet, which symbolizes the command structure of our great association and our honorable profession, I hereby transfer command, offer my best wishes.
I accept the transfer of command and congratulate you on a successful and productive tenure as our president and leader.
Thank you.
I call to the podium the newly elected fourth Vice President, William Barnes.
First and foremost, I want to give thanks to God, to the glory for his blessing and guidance for the strength. I am very humble and honored to stand before you tonight as the newly elected fourth Vice President of the South Carolina Firefighters Association. Before I go any further, I want to take the time to acknowledge my parents. Over the past year, I've lost both of them. Their love, their sacrifice, and unwavering belief in me to help shape me into the person I am today. They taught me value of service, integrity, and perseverance. While they're no longer with us, I carry their lessons with me every day, and I know that they would be proud of me standing here tonight. I dedicate this honor to their memory. I want to sincerely thank these members of the association for your trust, confidence in me. It is a responsibility I do not take lightly. I am grateful to the opportunity to serve the firefighters of South Carolina and to work alongside the dedication and passionate group of leaders. During my campaign, I spoke about two things that I believe are essential to the continued success of our association: communications and the commitment to our strategic plan. Communication is the strong foundation of any organization. Our members deserve to know their association is doing, why decisions are being made, and how they can be involved in shaping our future. I believe with the communications openly and effectively, we build trust, strengthen relationships, and create a more unified fire service across the state. I also pledge to ensure that we continue to move forward with the strategic plan. Strategic plans only succeed when they are effectively supported and carried through. We owe it to our members to stay focused on the goals that we have established and continue to build the process that have already been made. I am committed to do my part and to keep us moving in that direction. The South Carolina Fire Service is a proud history of service, sacrifice, and leadership. As we look forward to the future, I believe our greatest strength lies into our ability to work together. Whether career, volunteer, combination, urban, or rural, we are all unified by a common mission: serve our communities and protect our citizens. I also look forward to working with the executive committee, our staff, and firefighters from every corner of the state. Together, we can continue to strengthen this association and ensure that it remains a powerful voice for the fire service of South Carolina. Thank you again for this incredible honor.
Okay, at this time, if I could get all of the officers of the executive committee to line up in their place at the front, we'll swear them in, and then we'll proceed with swearing Jason in. So if I could get everybody to get in their place, Chief Arant, if you'll come up. As a reminder to the crowd and to the membership, we put a bylaws change in a few years ago that required that we swear in our executive committee at conference. We're made up of 6 folks that are elected and 5 folks that are appointed based on the discretion of the president and the executive committee. And that's what you see here before you. So as soon as we get them all ready to go, Chief Arant, we'll let you begin with the oath.
And as a friendly reminder, if you drop the back of your lapel pin, don't chase it and pick it up. Right. Raise your right hand and respond, I do, after I give you the oath. Do you swear to support the Constitution and bylaws and at all times bear true allegiance to the goals and purposes of the South Carolina State Firefighters Association? And do you further swear to perform the duties and responsibilities of your office to the best of your ability, so help you God?
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you your 2026 Executive Committee. We got a little bit larger emblem, a little bit bigger metal, so they're having a hard time figuring it out, I guess. They're used to the little ones. We keep on, they'll be looking like Russian czars walking around with all this metal on, won't they? Again, this is the brains behind the operation, and I'm happy to announce again that this is your 2026 Executive Committee. Okay, you can be seated. At this time, I'm going to call to the stage the Dennis family, Brandy, Caden, Ronnie, if you'll come on up with us. While they're coming up, we started a little tradition a few years back where the significant other, the spouse or the significant other of the president going out would provide a gift to the significant other and wife of the president coming in and offer some words of wisdom. So you also see coming to us Miss Maddie Womack. She's coming up to present the gift on behalf of President Womack to Miss Dennis. So real quick, you see Caden's holding the Bible for the association. There's a good story that goes behind it. It can be a long story, so I'm going to give you the short version. Many years ago, Carter Jones was sent out to try to find out information about building a new fire academy for South Carolina. And he went to New York and started riding with the New York Fire Department. And during that time, he met a guy named Richie Fanning. Richie was a firefighter. And Carter and him became lifelong friends. Richie promoted up to be, I think, the deputy chief of the FDNY. and wound up moving to South Carolina and spent a lot of time here in South Carolina. And him and his family, along with the FDNY, presented a Bible to the association to swear in their presidents. In there, there's a really good quote that they put in there talking about the integrity and just the way that the South Carolina Firefighters Association carried themselves, and they wanted this Bible to be part of that process so that their family would still have ties. So the Bible is affectionately known as the Fanning Bible, and all of our presidents have signed it since we received it every time they are sworn in. Pierce got, or when they're leaving office, I'm sorry, Pierce signed it today. His name is in there. Jason will sign it next June when we get everything going. So that's the Fanning Bible. Caden has it. Also on stage is his wife, Brandy. Brandy will pin him and present him his ring, and his dad's going to swear him in. So we're going to go ahead and start with the swearing in of Jason.
Jason, place your left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand, and repeat after me. I,
Jason Dennis,
hereby swear that I will support the Constitution and bylaws
that I will support the Constitution and bylaws
and at all times bear true allegiance to the goals and purposes of the South Carolina State Firefighters Association. I further swear to perform the duties and responsibilities of my office to the best of my ability. So help me God.
Brandy's presenting him his president's ring, which is a coveted ring that most of our presidents wear as a reflection of what their role and responsibility is for this organization. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you your 2026 President of the South Carolina State Firefighters Association, Chief Jason Dennis.
Wow. Time really does go by fast, doesn't it? On a lighter note, if anybody wants any tours around Gettysburg, I will do it at a discounted rate. If Brick Lewis is driving, we do have to charge more. So, but we'll talk about that. But no, I'm pretty sure that there was some help by maybe somebody at the table to the left with that picture, because I seem to have seen it before, Mr. Henson. But no. What an honor it is to stand here tonight. It's kind of a surreal feeling, thinking about everything you want to say and everything you want to do, but deeply humbled to stand here. So just want to tell everybody, that while I am deeply humbled, I'm also honored to stand before you tonight as president of this great association. And I want to sincerely thank each of you that placed confidence in me and trust in me to do this, to serve. To be chosen to serve this organization as president is both a privilege and an awesome responsibility that I don't take lightly. I'd also like to recognize the leaders who have come before me, many who are in this room with us tonight that continue to support this association and its forward progress. We couldn't be where we are today without you, and we won't be able to make it in the future without you. So I am forever grateful for your support for our executive committee. Those that came before us and their dedication, hard work, and vision are what have strengthened this association and helped shape it into the respected organization that it is today. I am grateful for their service and that foundation that they built. As firefighters, we understand the value of commitment, teamwork, and service. Daily, we answer the call to protect our communities, support one another, and uphold the highest standards of our profession. Those same principles will guide me in my leadership as president. Our association plays a vital role in advancing the fire service, supporting firefighter education and training, advocating for our members, and fostering relationships across departments and communities. Together, we will continue to address the challenges facing the fire service while embracing opportunities to strengthen our profession for future generations. No president can accomplish these goals alone. As President Womack mentioned earlier, it's not us, it's everybody in this room, it's the committees, it's the staff, it's everybody that stands with us. As I mentioned, our success depends on the dedication and involvement of everyone, committee members, staff, the members in this room, and I look forward to working alongside each of you, considering your ideas and building upon the strengths of this organization. By working together, we can ensure that our association remains a strong voice for firefighters and a valuable resource for those we serve. Before I conclude, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to my family. Thank you for the countless sacrifices you have made throughout my career. The fire services often require time away from home, missed holidays, interrupted family events, and long hours of commitment. Your love, patience, and unwavering support have made it possible for me to pursue this journey and achieve this goal. I share this honor with you because I could not have reached this point in my career without your encouragement and understanding. To my second family, my Clarendon County Fire Rescue family, the members of our department, thank you for your mentorship, your friendship, and support throughout my career. Every lesson learned, every challenge overcome, and every success achieved has been influenced by the dedicated professionals that I have the privilege to serve alongside. Your confidence in me and your commitment to our profession have helped prepare me for this opportunity, and I am sincerely grateful. I'm excited about what lies ahead, and I'm committed to serving with integrity, transparency, and respect. Thank you again for this opportunity. Standing with you fills me with pride, and I look forward to the work we will accomplish together. May we continue to support one another, serve with honor, integrity, and uphold the proud traditions of the fire service and this great association. But now it's time to go to work. I thank each of you. May God bless each of you and your families. At this time, I would like to call up Chaplain Jenkins for our benediction prayer.
Y'all look at me like y'all ready to go home. Amen. Let us pray. May the Lord bless this organization, its leaders, and all who serve within it. As we conclude the change of command ceremony, we give thanks to their faithful leadership that has brought us to this moment and for the new leadership that now takes us to the mantle of responsibilities. May God grant wisdom to those who lead, courage to those who serve, and strength to those who support this mission each day. May the lessons of this past guide the future, and may the honor, integrity, and service remain at the heart of every decision. Bless the outgoing president for his dedication and his sacrifice, and bless the incoming president with his clear vision, sound judgment, and servant heart. Unite this organization in the purpose of commitment as we move forward together. May God watch over each member and his family, keep them safe for their duties, and bring them peace in their homes. And now may the Lord bless each of you, keep you, may the Lord make his face shine upon you, you and the grace unto you. May the Lord lift your favor upon you, and give you peace. And with that, we say amen, amen, amen.
Thank you, everyone, for attending our banquet tonight. Congratulations to all those that received those well-deserved rewards. Please be safe traveling home, and we look forward to seeing you back next year. At this time, I'm going to close our conference.